Hello and welcome to the catch-up where we see what the Hammers Chat subscribers are saying about the latest going-ons at West Ham. I'm not going to lie. Between last week's show and this week's show, I was hoping we would have signed someone. I was hoping there was going to be a bit of excitement and we could have a discussion around the new guy. No new signing. Well, Daniel Cummings, I guess, has been announced, which is good news for the under-21s. And we've signed someone else from Northern Ireland, which I can't recall his name. It's lost. I've lost his name. But we signed another player from Northern Ireland this week. He will be playing in the under-21s next season as well. But anyway, if you're joining live, please get your thoughts into the live chat. It could be about anything West Ham. It could be about Diouf. It could be about Suzuki. It could be about any players you're hoping to sign. What about Mohamed Kudus? That's a big headline today, isn't it? Kudus and Diouf are the two big headlines. You're watching this a little bit later on Sunday or Monday. Don't be shy. Get involved in the comments below. Also, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. And also drop a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up button. Tip from a couple of our subscribers. If you're watching this on your TV, you're watching this video on your smart TV right now, because it's getting more popular. The telly, YouTube on the telly is getting more and more popular. It used to be like 10%. It's now up to like 40, 50% of how many viewers watch it on a smart TV. Can you subscribe as well, even if you have to go on your phone? Thank you. Makes a big difference. Getting close to 44,000 subscribers. Right. Let's turn to live chat. I've delayed for 90 seconds. That's enough time. Scott saying, what's happening with Paqueta? It's silly. All gone silent. You should know by now, leaving everyone in limbo. That's exactly what's going on, Scott. Everyone's in limbo. Paqueta, West Ham, we don't know. But hopefully we'll find out soon. We need to find out soon, don't we? But then again, I've been saying that for the last God knows how many weeks and months. So we'll find out at some point. Pre-season starts tomorrow, so I would guess Paqueta is going to be there. For an update for anyone unaware, out of the loop, the latest with Kudus is that Spurs had a £50 million bid rejected. They're expected to bid again. Kudus is prioritising the move to Spurs. Now, some people are taking that out of context, making incorrect assumptions, which Kudus only wants Spurs. That's not been reported anywhere. His priority is Spurs. So he's not closing a door on going to Chelsea. The only place that he apparently doesn't want to go to is Saudi, but the rest of them are still fair game at this point. So he may prefer to go to Spurs. But Chelsea are expected to start bidding as Madueke is getting a little bit closer, moving to Arsenal once they sign Gyökeres. That one looks really close. In regards to Diouf, the head coach of Slavia Prague, Gonzo got the word in slightly wrong. It wasn't the president. It's the head coach of Slavia Prague. Was speaking to Czechia media, where he said the deal is expected to go through. They think it's going to happen. But as a result of West Ham and Slavia Prague's negotiations, nothing's been agreed yet. Personal terms are fine. It's just club v club. Because they are expecting it to go through, Diouf has his own program, so he's not training with the main group at Slavia Prague. They're keeping him to one side so that to reduce the risk of injury and prevent this transfer going through. So it sounds really positive. My opinion is the same. I believe the interest. I believe we want to sign him, and I still think we will sign him. It's just not done yet. That's been my opinion yesterday, Friday, Thursday. I haven't flinched. In regards to Suzuki, though, the goalkeeper from Parma that came out yesterday, it's moved on quite quick. Italy are suggesting, well, actually, no, they're not. They're claiming we had a €25 million bid rejected. I personally don't believe that. But the reports are that he wants to stay at Parma for another year and then move to the Premier League. So he still wants to come to Premier League, just not yet. As for Richard Rios, he himself has said Palmeiras have not received a bid for him. So the South American press were suggesting that we'd had a €25 million bid rejected and they want €30 million. Richard Rios himself has said that's not the case. There's been no bid made for him. That's your latest West Ham transfer rumours. Simon likes the profile of Diouf, young, powerful and dynamic. Hope it's an indication of future signings, especially when it comes to central midfield. Stephen's asking about Suzuki. That's the latest. In terms of opinion, Stephen, I did a video yesterday. If you don't mind, just watch that. Simon speaking about it, which is what Sloth joined me in the video to discuss, was positive. Be happy to see Areola go if we can find a buyer. Stephen saying Kudus can go anywhere, but not Spurs. James is saying if we sign Onyedika, then him, Diouf and Wan-Bissaka will all be gone for a month, as well as Agerd, says Simon. Gary says hoping for a potential bidding war. Hold your nerve, West Ham. Don't deal too early, which is very, very important. Mike saying he thinks Paqueta's outcome is another factor holding up transfers and strategy. Possibly, but you can't wait. We can't. Like, the reports came out, and it came from the club to ex-West Ham employee to the West Ham fans, right? About a month ago, it came out and said, "Oh, we're not expecting to hear anything for another 6 to 8 weeks," which took us up until mid to end of July. Now we're on course for that. I would argue if it doesn't come out this week, that's correct. But if the club knew at the start of June they weren't expecting to hear a verdict until late in July, at that point, you've got to say, right, we cannot wait. We cannot wait for the verdict to be returned. We have to get going. And they do. You can't, the left Diouf, for example, the goalkeeper, that shouldn't be impacted by Paqueta anyway. The problem will be if he's banned. But even if he's banned, you can still appeal it. And when the appeal is ongoing, he can continue to play. So I'm very confident Paqueta, as long as he doesn't leave, if Paqueta's a West Ham United player for the first game of the season, I'm confident he will play. Whether he's been found guilty or innocent or we've not heard, he will be able to play because he will appeal it. I'll be shocked if he's found guilty, he does not appeal that, and it would scream guilty if he doesn't appeal it. So I would expect him to appeal. And in doing so, you can keep playing. And it's possible that appeal would go on for months and months anyway. So you might find that he's here for the entirety of next season. And this time next summer, we're waiting on the next verdict to be heard. Steve saying he's hoping Kudus would end up in Newcastle, but he wants to stay in London. So Spurs or Chelsea, and Newcastle going after Anthony Olanga as well. West Ham Forever saying things seem to be moving at the moment. What position do you think we'll go for next? And do you know any strikers? What will we go for next? Goalkeeper, I think Diouf. I feel Diouf's going to happen. Then I think we'll go after the goalkeeper. And then I think it will be the striker. I think we might look at then. Gary is saying that the Hammershack Oddballs Boxers, there you go. Luke's the dog bollocks, covering his bollocks. Thanks for it. Don't tell anyone I gave you an extra gift. Gary got an extra gift because he's bought numerous things from the store. So that's why I gave him a little something. It wasn't his third order. It was his, I don't know. I can't remember that. He's made multiple orders. Michael saying, why are we still selling before buying? The board could inject 90 million into the kitty. If you sell, then the player you want goes elsewhere. You have no team. Bad planning. We don't know. Steve's asking about Daniel Cummins. I don't have any thoughts. My thoughts are, I hope he has a good season with under 21s and maybe gets, involved in the first team training next season. And if we get a good draw in the Carabao Cup, that he could maybe be on the bench and make his debut for us. But my hopes for him are that he has a really strong season in the under 21s and settles into West Ham. Callum's tuning in on his break. He's got 5 minutes left. He wrote that 7 minutes ago. His break's finished now. Thank you, Callum. If you watch this later, thank you. Mike's listening while out for a 10k run. Bloody hell. In this heat, you're off your head. Fair play. Good on you. William saying, how's Daniel Cummins, Kante, and Landers? Oh, that's not the player we signed. Well, actually, the West Ham under-21s pre-season began during the week. So they're already back in training, and Cummins is part of it. Mohamed Kante and Mohamedou Kante is part of it as well. Josh Landers. That annoying Irish guy. Has anyone Googled it and told me his name yet? It wasn't really put up there by the club. They didn't really make a song and dance about it, did they? About signing this kid. Let me have a look. West Ham sign Northern Ireland. Let's have a look. Callum Leacock. That's it. We've signed Callum Leacock. There you go. Callum Leacock. That's who we've brought in this week. So that's good news. There's another one. Joel Kerr. That was done in March. Didn't know that one either. There you go. We've added him. He's in the 21 as well. Gary saying Diouf and Suzuki look absolute units. I wonder if this is a physical profile of players we will be in for. Pace, power, and strength. Mate is saying 60 million for Kudus and off he goes. If Mboma and Cunha were 60 million, I think that's a fair price, especially with how much of a poor season he had. Probably an unpopular opinion. I actually agree. I think when you're comparing it to his peers in the Premier League, Cunha 62.5 million, and Boma 62.5 million, Alanga 55 million. These are all players that were far more productive than Kudus last season. You know, Alanga was 6 goals and 11 assists, I want to say. That's a lot. That's a good output for Alanga. 23 years of age as well, off to Newcastle for, if all goes well, currently they're in negotiations over a move worth 55 million. So I think 60 million, when comparing it to similar players, it's a fair fee. I think the issue is, my issue, Matty, is that we're selling Kudus based on what Kudus has provided this season. And I feel like if he had a good season, he could be worth the 85 million. I think that's a fair price for Kudus today, but the problem is we haven't got the most out of Kudus while he's been at West Ham. That's my issue. Avid saying we're quickly approaching mid-July. The rumblings from the club we'd hear about Paqueta was mid-June. No, the rumblings was mid-July, Avid. I remember it clearly at the end of May or the start of June. It was around about that period. It was not long after the season finished, and they said 6 to 8 weeks, which took you up until the end of July. So there's still a couple of weeks to go until we're in that territory as to what the club were expecting. I was BD saying Potter's looking for bodyguards. He's heard the dressing room can get a bit tasty. Not wrong. Matt is saying, can we actually afford to wait for a bidding battle? Seems a bit risky to wait for Chelsea to maybe come in when it looks like the money's going to be pretty important. Thing is, I think they're expecting Chelsea to come in. Maresca's comments was interesting when asked about Kudus. He didn't deny it, but also Chelsea are expecting to get Madueke sold. Chelsea are currently, I don't believe Chelsea and Arsenal are in negotiations directly yet, but Chelsea are aware Madueke is interested in a move. I think the Club World Cup's perhaps putting a bit of a delay on that, and Arsenal are prioritising Gyökeres currently. But once that's done, I wouldn't be surprised to see Madueke go to Arsenal. It feels like that one's going to happen as well. And when that does occur, that's Chelsea will have. I bet I would assume Madueke is going for around about 60 million as well. And then they might move for Kudus. I'm just putting two together. Could be coming up with 5, could be coming up with 4. We'll have to wait and see. Daniel saying we should sign Suzuki, loan him back to Parma if they don't want to sell. I think part of the reason they want to keep him, though, Daniel, is so that they can get more money for him next summer. I don't think it's the valuation that's necessarily the issue. And I think Suzuki's keen on staying there. Again, not because he doesn't want to leave Parma. He's open to doing that. Reading between the lines, I think he wants to stay there so that in a year's time, he might have more offers. Bigger and better clubs might come in for him, because he's been linked to quite a few other clubs, obviously Man United and Chelsea from the Premier League. Maybe he's thinking with another strong season in Serie A, Chelsea will go in for him and pay that 40 million euros next summer. So I've got a feeling that the club's perspective is keep him for another year, we'll get more money. And the player's perspective is stay where I am and I'll have more clubs next summer. I don't know. Again, it all depends on what you believe. We all read the same thing. We all believe different people. That's normal. That's allowed. That's my interpretation of the situation. Ryan saying, I know Thomas Frank is good at Brentford, but there's no guarantee he'll do well at Spurs, especially in Champions League. If I was Kudus, I would rather go to Chelsea or Newcastle. John saying midfield and forwards are our key needs at present. Definitely the midfield. Daniel's saying the same thing as well. Badly need central midfielders. I'm 100%. I think if we were to bring in a couple of midfielders, the attack would improve. I think Kudus would improve if he had better midfielders playing behind him in this team. That's how crucial I think the midfielders are to this summer's rebuild. Max saying, I think we're struggling to sell Kudus, which is unexpected and might be the reason we are struggling. I don't think you're wrong there. Hal saying, has anything actually happened? Yeah, the Slavia Prague manager. I don't think you can. Listen, I understand if when we're interested in or in advanced talks, which everybody's has a different understanding of what advanced talks mean. I understand why you get a little bit when people go, I don't believe it. I am like that with most transfer rumors myself. But when the Slavia Prague head coach comes out and says, we expect him to go to West Ham, I'm classing that as something has happened. I think that's quite major. I think that's a major development. When you've got the manager of the other, if Graham Potter came out today and said, I expect Mohamed Kudus to join Spurs, are we going to say, well, nothing's happened? That means nothing. Don't believe it. No, we wouldn't. We'd all go, you what? And then we'd react to it because it's the head coach confirming one of your players is leaving and which club he's going to go to. That's what's happened here with the Slavia Prague head coach. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. It's a long name. There's a lot of consonants in it. I can't remember what his name is, but it looks like Ange Postecoglou from Wish.com. It's Wish.com Ange Postecoglou. Check Postecoglou. That's his name now. I'm going to call him that. So has anything happened? But it's up to you. Depends on what you perceive as being happened. But I think something has. Alan saying if our youngsters don't perform in pre-season, we will start the season with the same stale midfield. Yeah. John saying, can we have a selling clause in any Kudus deal? I hope so, John. I hope so. I hope we do. I hope we've got something in there. I hope we put in potential add-ons which would capitalise on any unexpected success at Spurs. It would maybe make it a little easier to stomach. So if Spurs were to say win the FA Cup, West Ham got an additional £1 million. Don't want to see Tottenham win the FA Cup. Hope they don't win the FA Cup. But if they did and we benefited from it financially, easier to stomach slightly. But I hope we do have a sell-on clause. Maybe that I think that's the end of negotiations. If you agree the fee of say 65 million, then you start saying, right, okay, and we want to put that in. The only problem is it's usually, especially when it's such a big fee, it's usually done by profit rather than transfer fee. And even if Tottenham were to sell him eventually, there wouldn't be loads of profit. We'll make more profit on Kudus than what Spurs will, I'd imagine. Ryan saying if we get Suzuki, wonder what Gonzo's nickname would be. We're not even going to guess what that would be. No chance. Ralph saying Ward-Prowse running around the midfield. I wonder why I have no enthusiasm. Tommy saying often forget we're losing an additional body with a ton of experience in Solar. Or is the thought that Earthy replaces him this year? A bit of both, I think. A bit of both. Gary saying once he's confirmed he wants Spurs to... It's from David Ornstein. Again, now listen, I'm going to put my opinion of Ornstein to one side. I think he's the best. But again, it's prioritising Spurs. It doesn't necessarily mean that's his dream move or anything. It doesn't bother me. If Kudus wants Tottenham, it doesn't bother me. We are his employer. Football is his job. That's how I see it. He hasn't rocked up at West Ham and gone, West Ham till I die. I've always loved West Ham. Grew up in a West Ham shirt. There's none of that going on here. He's not come from our academy or anything like that. We brought him in a couple of years ago. He's come in. He'll say that he's given everything to the football club. And he sees it as an upgrade moving to a club playing Champions League football. Honestly, I don't blame him. I have an issue with us selling to Tottenham. I don't have an issue with Kudus being open to moving to Tottenham. I don't blame him. The board, however, for considering it and doing it, I have an issue with that. So that's where I sit. Osbedian saying just saw Chelsea bid 60 million for Eze. Oh, I did not know that. That is new information to me. I knew Arsenal were after him, but not Chelsea. Avid saying with Mexico being in the Gold Cup final, do you expect to see movement on Alvarez leaving now? Possibly. I'll be watching that game. Midnight kickoff. I've already got it ready to go. I think I'll be able to sleep. Sorry, I should be able to watch it. The 2 a.m. games at the Club World Cup have killed me. The worst part is staying up until 2 a.m. is arguably the hardest bit because there's nothing on. I'm just watching normal TV. But 2 a.m. comes round. By halftime, I'm on the sofa, sleeping. I'm done. Waking up at 4 a.m. Sore neck. I've missed the game. I watched half an hour and I can only remember 5 minutes of it before I fell asleep. So, but I'm hoping tonight, because it's midnight, I should be okay to watch it because I've already done my bet. Done a bet for tonight. Just one. I'll probably do another one, but I've done one just single down the middle. Hopefully it comes in. Fingers crossed. Hugh saying, hope his message about your son seeing the mug spelled out was not why you changed it. Not you, Hughes. Someone emailed someone emailed and complained that the mugs spell out a naughty word, and I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed. I couldn't be bothered explaining that actually. Do you know something? If you are the person that emailed, I'm not going to say your name. However, if your name's Ben and you're the person that emailed, you want to maybe just look away right now, because this is why I did it. Because I didn't realize someone thought it spelled United. Someone said, "Oh, how you've lined your United mugs up looks like a naughty word." I was like, "It doesn't spell United." So it's got the U, it's got the handle, it's got the U, it's got the N, and it's got the T. All right, that's what it says. It's my favorite word, believe it or not. I use it every single day, and I take it as a compliment. When someone calls me one of them, I say thank you. But anyway, I had it spelt out, as some of you know. Actually, let's just do it again. There you go. I've only got 2 here now, but that'll have to do. So there you go. There you go, Ben. Anyway, so someone emailed, who may be called Ben, may not be called Ben, to complain that apparently, do you know those did not happen of the year things? I'm calling that, right? But I couldn't be arsed replying. And I've probably lost a subscriber here, but I don't really care. I'm past caring, basically. So I had it set up like that, but with another mug, so it spelt the word. And the email was, "Oh, my son who's 7 asked me what that word meant." Well, I felt like replying, go and take this opportunity to explain to your son that as an adult, it may be considered humor, but as you're a child, you're not allowed to say that word. It's a bad word. Don't say that word. But when you get older, you might use it as part of everyday language. You may use it as humor, like the guy on the TV thinks it's funny. We may not think it's funny, but he does. So anyway, I just changed it because I couldn't be arsed, really. Anyway, Ben, there you go. 2 mugs for you. Matty. Spurs, Chelsea both offer 50 million plus a player of 20 million. Right, let's do this. Everyone, let's do this. I like a community question. We don't always do them anymore. I want to bring it back. Community question is coming back to the catch-up and the debrief. I want people to answer this. I want everyone to answer Matty. We'll get your answers up on the screen. 2 answers, 1 from each club. So if you had to have a player from Tottenham and a player from Chelsea, who would you pick? So Kudus is going there. Just forget what Matt is saying here in terms of 50 plus a player. I don't want anyone to say, I wouldn't accept 50 in a player. Just West Ham have accepted a bid of 50 million plus a player for Kudus from Tottenham and from Chelsea. Which players would you pick? 1 from each club. I think from Chelsea, can I go very ambitious? Like, this is really ambitious and a bit unrealistic, but I don't care. It's hypothetical, right? It's play. Nicholas Jackson. I believe there's an opportunity to get Nicholas Jackson now. With Liam Delap going there and looking good, Pedro can play up front. I've just got a feeling that someone might, because of his 2 red cards recently, one at the end of the season and one during the Club World Cup. That's the type of thing that would really piss you off as a manager, make you lose someone. If not him, Shalaba, maybe. Petrovic, I guess. I'm okay with Petrovic as a goalkeeper, so I'll go Petrovic. And for Spurs, I'd go Basuma, because I think he would work. Well, we know he works really well under Graham Potter. Basuma at Brighton was incredible under Graham Potter, so I think I'd have Basuma for that regard. If not, Spence, because he's not the first choice. Udogie and Porto are, and was fantastic left back last season, albeit he's right-footed. I've always been a Richarlison fan, but he's getting on a bit now, a bit injury prone. Although saying that, I'd still take him at West Ham. So yeah, there you go. I think my answers would be, if I can't have Jackson, I understand why. I'll go Petrovic and Basuma. That would be my 2. Now I'm going to scroll down and see what everyone else is saying. Before I do that, Glenn says, I've never felt so much disinterest in West Ham in almost 50 years when I went to my first game. We're interested in everyone. Well, we're not interested in everyone. It is the same every window. But Glenn, honestly, I enjoy transfer rumours because I don't believe most of it. And if you take most of it with a pinch of salt, don't get wound up by it. It's all right. It doesn't bother me. Sometimes I'll believe something. Turns out it's not true. It's not the end of the world. Whitey saying after all the London Stadium drama, Sullivan will have to be a Class A mug to negotiate. Well, I mean, have to be, as if to suggest that he would become one. Mark saying that Rangers are playing Club Bruges and Onyedika isn't playing. There's quite a few of their players leaving. There's Brighton are going after one of their players, aren't they? Not one of them we've been linked to. It's a winger. I think Brighton are after a winger from Club Bruges. How good were Club Bruges? Saying that they did all right in the Champions League last year. And did they beat Man City in the Champions League? Am I making that up? I think I watched Club Bruges beat Man City in the Champions League. Am I imagining that? Maybe I am. Anyway, right. And James, I wasn't trying to sell them. Funny enough, I spelt it out to try and sell them because we've got like 3 or 4 left. It was my marketing technique. Right, let's have a look. I'm here. Litters, he's not the only person that said this. A couple of people have said. Fabrizio Romano has just said that Mohamed Kudus only wants Spurs. Right, let's take a little look at this. Let's have a little look and see what Romano is saying. Because if he genuinely only wants Spurs, I'm not going to be happy about this. Jokeres, yeah. Okay, here we go. Right. Fabrizio Romano. Understand Mohamed Kudus is not talking to any other club. He wants Tottenham. Kudus already said yes to Spurs and club to go. Right, okay. Doesn't mean Chelsea won't bid, but it does feel a bit more definitive now that Kudus wants Tottenham and only Tottenham. West Ham, if this is true, if Kudus is only wanting Spurs and he will only go to Spurs, I tell you now, this is my natural reaction. It's live. I can't be faking this. My natural reaction to this: West Ham need to grow a set of bollocks and own this situation. When things like this happen, you have to take charge of the situation as best as you can, and West Ham can do that right now. Even if they don't do it publicly themselves, I'd prefer they did. I'd prefer they addressed it just head on. But if not, if they do, this is where I think sometimes you can use your leaks and your sources. I think you can actually use them to your advantage. Put it out there, 85 million. 85 million or don't bother. He's 85 million quid for Tottenham. You want him, you pay the release clause. Put it out there publicly. We're not accepting a penny less than 85 million. Put the pressure on Kudus. You want Tottenham, you're going to have to get him to cough up 85 million. That's what I want. I'd love to see West Ham do that in the next 24 hours. Grow a set of bollocks and put it out there that Tottenham have to pay the 85 million. Say to Kudus, Chelsea come in, you can go for 70. But if it's Spurs, it's 85 million. And also mean it. So if Spurs rock up and go 65, say, no, go, do one. It's 85 million. If they come in and say 70, say, do one. It's 85 million. The only way we accept 70 is if Bissouma is part of it. So it's 70 plus Bissouma. West Ham need to get tough here. I think West Ham need to go a set of cojones and just put it out there very, very publicly. This is the price. That's what, I mean, when Leicester City were well run, that's what they did. Man, you wanted Maguire. They publicly came out and said 80 million. You want him, it's 80 million. Don't even turn up unless it's 80 million. Brighton do it as well. You want him, here's the price, you pay that, you can have him. But unless you're paying that, do one. We need to do the same with Kudus. 85 million, or don't even bother. That's how you get Kudus out of West Ham and get him to Tottenham. Put the pressure on Kudus as well. You want Spurs? Go on then. Go make it happen. Get your agency to convince Daniel Levy to come back with 85 million because he won't. Then we'll see how much Tottenham want you. You want Tottenham, Tottenham want you. Well, we'll find out just how much, or should I say how little Tottenham want you. They want you because you're cheap. They want you because you're a good player, but also because West Ham are skint. They're trying to take advantage of Desperate Dave as chairman. And that is what we've got. We do have Desperate Dave as chairman. But Levy is trying to take advantage of him, and it's going to work. It's time for Sullivan. he didn't grow much in height as a child, but it's time for him to grow some in the sense of a pair of bollocks and say 85 million, or you don't go. Pre-season starts tomorrow. You turn up, and if they don't come in and pay that, and Chelsea don't come in and pay the 70, you're here next season. West Ham need to take charge of this, and yes, it will mean that the board have to put their own money into the club. I don't care. Do what you have to do. Yeah. At the minute, Tottenham are holding the gun at West Ham. Grab it, turn it around, point it back at them. Right. We're going to have a little bit of fun now. We're going to answer Matty's question. William would have Bergvall or Archie Gray from Spurs. David Shearer saying the same. Archie Gray or Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea. And Navida said Jackson if he's fit. Wow, I forgot they had him. He's been injured that much. And Daniel Kelly saying Basuma or Andre Santos. Santos is an interesting one. I don't think you'd get him, but it's an interesting one. Comes bleeding saying Cole Palmer. Luke from West Ham World YouTube channel. As always, if there's a YouTube channel here at Sports West Ham, go subscribe to them. Luke says Basuma or Jackson on loan. Anthony, a bit ambitious, but I think that's the point, which is Van de Ven or Palmer. Costa saying Basuma. Jesse James saying Kulusevski, the ginger Swede. William saying Pez or Kendry. I don't know who those players are. I know Pez is. Am I right in saying he's a young winger? Don't know. Is his first name Ken? Well, there's no comma. I'm going to assume it's Kendry Pez. Am I right in saying Pez is a young winger? Never thought I'd be tested on my Chelsea knowledge when I loaded up this video today. Quiz said Chalobah from Chelsea. Alan saying Petrovic, but he wouldn't deal with Tottenham. Jordan saying Archie Gray or Chalobah. Navidus is saying Carney, Chukwuemeka or Vega. Who's Chukwuemeka, I think, is way back to Dortmund. Dortmund sporting director said that they're trying to get him back. Hasn't played much during the Club World Cup, but he's still on loan until like now, I guess. Harry Stevens saying Dewsbury Hall or Basuma. I thought there'd be maybe a few more people saying Dewsbury Hall. Michael saying Jackson or Basuma. Witsy saying Chalobah or Archie Gray. I thought Jackson was ambitious, but I think Archie Gray is even more ambitious. I'm glad there's people here on the Jackson Hill. Thank you very much for joining me. I get a bit of stick from my love for Nicholas Jackson. I'm dying on the hill. Ryan saying Nicholas Jackson as well. Aidan saying Spencer's a great player, although not sure we need another fullback. Sorry, Aidan, this is on the assumption we don't sign Diouf, because we haven't signed him yet, so I think we need a fullback. But if we sign Diouf, I agree that we perhaps don't need someone, but we do need another right back because we're going to lose Wan-Bissaka for a month this season, so we are going to need to figure something out there. Brian saying Basuma and Jackson. David saying Bergvall and Chalobah. Peter's asking about Lyon's relegation. Lyon could potentially get out of it. I think if they basically pay, I think they've got to put 100 million euros in now and another 100 million euros for next season. They've got to put that in now, and if they do, I think they stay in the top flight. I might have that slightly wrong, so you're going to want to Google it, but I think if they chuck in that much money, they can avoid relegation. A massive thank you, Charles. Thank you very much. Charles has put in $20. Thank you so much. So if Kudus stays, how will be he received? I think he'll be fine. I think if he doesn't go to Tottenham, I think he's all right. I think he'd be okay personally. If anything, we'd get behind him and say, brilliant, we stuck it to Tottenham. This guy's at West Ham. Let's get going. Westwood saying, I think it's all true about Kudus. I think his position is untenable. He will be booed off the pitch. He's not going about it in the greatest manner. We'll have to wait and see. But Alex says, saying that we've got 105 million from Arsenal for Declan Rice. Yeah, he's going to be told saying we can't sell to Tottenham. Simple as that. I hope so. Overseas saying you can have Basuma, but Levy won't sign in. I'm assuming you're a Tottenham fan, right? Because you said you can have Basuma. So I'm assuming you're a Spurs fan. What's your thoughts on Kudus? A, can you confirm you're a Spurs fan? And B, what's your honest thoughts on Kudus? And what would you be happy with seeing Spurs play? I mean, I'm always interested to see what the other side of things think. Ryan saying agrees, let him pay the 85 million. That's that. And Greg saying, since Moyes left, there's been so much churn in our squad to allow the coach and manager their squad. Initially, I was okay, Porter coming in, but I've lost faith in him. Selling Kudus is a mistake. Marlon saying Paz is a number 10. No, I was going to say something stupid, but I'm not going to say it. It was in regards to him, but I'm not saying it. I'm not. My mouth is shut. Right. Matthew saying I wouldn't take anyone. If we're broke as people make on, it has to be the money or no deal. Peter saying Chelsea have 2 squads, one for the league and one for the cups. They've got a lot of strength and depth. That's definitely something you could say. CB's asking if the mugs are in honor of Sullivan. It's in honor of Ben. Ben emailed to say he hated it, and a couple of people encouraged me to put them back. So they're there. They're there for Ben. Right, I'm going to go in a minute. Before I do, can I just point in direction of the closing down sale? I know you're probably sick of it, but I need to shift stuff. Let me grab a handful of t-shirts here. All the printed t-shirts are on sale. This is on sale. AC/DC, that's on sale. Irons on Tour reduced drastically. This Irons on Tour t-shirt, white or black, it's off-white or black, they're reduced heavily. I need them gone by the end of the month. Every single one needs to be gone. The Beatles, can't remember if it's Everything Must Go or the sale. There's 2 different pages on the website. Go have a look. We're selling things less than it cost us. We're making a loss on some of these items now. HammerChatStore.com. There's an Everything Must Go and then like a big sale page. The big sale probably won't reduce any further. If the shop is coming down at the end of July, it will not be here in August. If they're still here, it's not the end world. I'll keep them until we set the store back up. But like the Irons on Tour stuff, there's a Champions Prague t-shirt, which I'm trying to find one to show you. Here we go. We've got it in claret with blue. We've also got it in grey with claret. Champions with the trophy as the eye. Reduced. Must go. So go have a look. There might be something you like. Peter's asking Oasis stuff. I think there's one or two Oasis mugs left, and that's it. They're not reduced because they're selling well. There's only a couple left, and then that's them sold out. That one, Peter, for you, if you go onto the store right now, there's a mug that says, I can't remember, not perfect mug. It's £4. You get a random mug from the display, or there's maybe an imperfection on it, and it's not been used on display. One of the two. That's why it's only £4. I need to sell all these because I don't want them anymore. If you buy one, Peter, I'll send you this one. I'll send you that one. It's all good. It's all clean. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just been on display to try and get the sales. Anyway, but Peter, if you buy it, you'll get the Oasis one. Can't say fairer than that. And I'm going to leave it with this one, which is from Nick Clayton Booze, as always. YouTube channel, West Ham fans, go subscribe if you haven't done so already. He says Kudus clearly has a moral compass and cares about football more than money, hence rejecting Saudi. Yet he's willing to go anywhere in the Premier League around the state of West Ham. The question is, why? My answer to that, Nick, is because we've been pimping him out for months. For months now, it's been getting leaked by the club. He's for sale. We're selling him. He's basically been transfer listed without officially being transfer listed. We've let the world know we need to sell this guy. We want to sell this guy. Eventually, you're going to feel unwelcome, aren't you? If your missus was going around to her mates and I don't like this guy, well, she might do, to be fair. She might go around to her mates because this guy's useless. I don't want him anymore. Does anyone want him? Anyone want my husband? Eventually, you're going to go, do you know what? I've had enough of this. Not really feeling appreciated around here. I wouldn't be surprised because this got to the point where you think, I'm not staying here. You've been trying to flog me for 3-4 months now. It's been getting leaked left, right, and center. You want to shift me. So, understandably, he would have turned around and said, you know what? I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere else. I'm actually perhaps going to be appreciated. Plus, I think it's fair to suggest that football-wise, it's not been the best year for him. I don't think either manager last season played him correctly or got the best out of him. So my assumption would be that he's perhaps not enjoying his football that much. It impacted his time with Ghana. When he was going away with Ghana, he was getting criticism from the Ghana fans because they were performing pretty poorly during the season. And at one point, he was the captain. He captained the team, and he was getting a lot of critics on social media about his performances for the Ghana team. So it was impacting that as well. So poor form, club trying to get rid of him. I'd want to get out the bloody club as well. Anyway, right. I'm off. Thank you very much for joining me. Get your comments in the comment section below. Before you go, please make sure you drop a like on the video as well by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammers Chat, and I will catch up with you all tomorrow. I'll see you then. Ta-da.